Hey guys, welcome back to Techno Web Hack. This is Parikshit here, back again with another video, and in the continuation of our web application vulnerability series, this is going to be another video. Alright, and in this video we are going to learn about the preventions. So we have already learned about the XXE, what it is, what are its types, how to find it, and we have also seen how to perform it. Right, so when we have seen how you can do it or how you can exploit a web server by using the XXE, now is the time to understand and learn how you can prevent it, right? Because we know how harmful it could be and how impactful the XXE vulnerability is. Whether we have seen completely that how an attacker can completely gain access to your system, because he can try to query a sensitive file which contains the passwords, right? He can try to access the password file and he can then understand what it is. He can use some crack tools and like a hashcat kind of tool, and he can crack the passwords easily, and he can then try to log into the system. He can get log into the system and he can own the system. He can control the system on his own, right? So it can be a very serious impact on the web server. He can do pretty much anything. He can completely control the system, right? So this is a very dangerous thing that can happen to your web server, right? So you should know how you can prevent from this kind of vulnerabilities. So this is what we are going to learn in this video, guys. And before that, if you're new to the video and channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icons so that you will not miss the next videos that I'm going to upload, and hit the like button if you like this video. All right, let's get started. Alright guys, so let's move on to the prevention, but before moving to the preventions, let's understand how to find and test for the XXE vulnerabilities, which we have seen already, but I want you to overlook it once again, so that now we are going to do is to learn about the preventions of it. And before we learn about the prevention, we will just rewind what we have learned till now. So what we have done is we have tested for the file retrieval, right? And this we have done is by defining the XXE, which is the external entity, and we used that entity in data that is returned in the application response, right? This is exactly the first thing which we have done. Next thing is what we have done is we used or we test for the blind XXE, right? And what we have done for that is the same thing, like we have defined the external entity, and based on the URL to the system that you control, right? We have given the URL of a burp collaborator, and which we were controlling, right? And then we monitored it, and we seen like when we clicked on the poll now, we could see that there were some requests that came from this particular lab, right? There was an IP of a lab which was sending requests to our burp collaborator, and that's how we identified that there is a vulnerability, there is a XXE vulnerability. So this is how we found it, right? And then we tested it further. And the next thing what we have done is we used the XInclude function, right? Because when application was validating the XML document properly, it was not allowing for creating any kind of XML entities. Then this was the bypass. So we needed to create the XML. This is also the XML document or XML language function only, but this is something which is within the XML document, but it is not the entity, right? Where if this is not the entity or external entity, then we can just use this kind of function. And we seen how XInclude function we can use, and how we use that payload which was there for the XInclude, and how we then refer it to a particular file, and we used to retrieve this kind of well-known operating system file by using this function, right? So this is how we then test it. We then found this particular XXE vulnerability in there, and we used to get the well-known operating system file. So now let's move on to the prevention. So how you can prevent this is by learning, or by going through the labs. You might have definitely understood how you can prevent it. So the solution is also lies upon the vulnerability or the defect, right? So we have to see like what is that particular thing which is allowing the attacker to exploit it, and this is exactly we have to see, and we have to block it. This is exactly the thing which we have to check for and which we want to disable it later, so that it should not allow the attacker to exploit the web server for XXE, right? So what was the case in our web application? So in there the system function was there, which was enabled. So we make use of system function and system keyword, which was the external entity keyword, and we used this particular keyword and we called it to some different external or internal server, and we used to refer it to server internal file or any internal URL, right? So this is how it was dangerous. And next thing is X-include was there, so which we have already talked about. So this is again we have to disable, right? So disable the support for X-include, disable the support for system function, and also disable the resolution of the external entities. So if you are doing these three things, you are pretty much prevented from the XXE. But further to that, you have to also do is whitelisting and input sanitization, validation of an input, and accordingly you need to check like what is the data that is there within the XML document, or headers or nodes, right? This is exactly it should happen. Or you can say like it's like a filtering, input filtering or validation or input sanitization should happen, right? And another thing which you can do is like you can make a use of some SAST tool, or you can do a manual code review. So there are so many SAST tools are there which are like SonarQube, let's say, or maybe Veracode or Checkmarks. So these are some well-known SAST tool which you can use, and then you can try to find any vulnerabilities there or any non-standard thing that is maintained in your source code of your particular web application. The next is all user input should be checked for the presence of special character, and this is nothing but the input sanitization. So if you are implementing input sanitization, it will check for this kind of special characters or keywords which we have whitelisted, or maybe which we have defined to check. So it will check for that and it will prevent it, right? So it will block it, and this is the way that you can prevent the XXE vulnerability for your web application. Alright guys, so this is it. These are some major remediations that you can even recommend to your client as well. Suppose if you find a XXE vulnerability in there, or you want to provide some recommendation or remediation to your client or in your project, so you can go ahead and provide this recommendation to them, because if you are implementing these preventions or this remediation, I'm sure that you are safe from the XXE attacks. Okay, so this is it guys. I think we have pretty much covered all the things which we wanted to learn about the XXE. We learned what is XXE, we learned how to find the XXE, we learned what is its impact, we learned how to exploit the XXE, and now we already learned how we can prevent it as well. Alright, so this is it. We have covered all the topics about the XXE vulnerability. So I hope you like the series and the content that I am presenting to you. If you have any queries or questions, please do comment below, and please do let me know how you feel the way I teach to you. And if you need to know any additional thing, please do let me know that as well. Alright, and if you want to support me and help me, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so that the next videos that I'm going to upload, you will not miss it. And if you like this content and this video, please hit the like button and do comment below. So thanks for watching guys. I will meet you in the next video with another interesting topic where we will be learning about some another web application vulnerability in detail. So till then, thanks for watching, have a great day, and bye bye.